What's going on, everyone? Welcome to a special episode of Yammy Noob. Today we are comparing and contrasting the Ninja 400 and the Ninja Kawasaki ZX4RR. Don't let your eyes deceive you. I know it can be hard to look at both of these bikes and you're like, yeah, aren't they the same? Boy, they look the same. And it's been really funny having both of these bikes here in the shop and being like, I can't really tell them apart until I start to really look for little details. Even as a motorcyclist, it's been really funny. But if you wanted a detailed comparison of both of these machines, you've come to the right place. We're gonna run through the entire spec sheet and I'm gonna render an opinion on which one you should get if you're considering getting one of these motorcycles, maybe as a beginner bike or as a returning rider. Now, I did want to mention, we've got something very special going on with this motorcycle over here. We're doing the first ever 3-day bike giveaway. Yes, I purchased this Ninja 400 over here, but it's not a new beginner bike giveaway. We're actually just doing a 3-day giveaway, and this is the last day you have to get entered to win, July 17th, the day this video goes live. So head over to yammynoob.co. We're doing this bike and a crazy gear giveaway bundle with it. So one lucky person out there watching right now is gonna head over to yammynoob.co, pick out anything you want, and every dollar you spend is an entry to win this bike and that insane gear giveaway too. We've never done anything like this. I just wanted to see what it would be like, and I thought it would be kind of fun to try it. So yeah, got this bike, and that's what we're doing with it. So without further ado, let's get into the differences between these two machines. So as I said, at first glance, these look identical, but they're actually very different motorcycles. Let's start off with the price. That's gonna start telling you how different they are. The price on the ZX4RR MSRP is $9,699, whereas the Ninja 400 starts at a scant $5,499 plus $500 if you want ABS. I do think that if you're getting a street bike and your first motorcycle, ABS is a great option. But if you're gonna build this thing into a little race bike, like the one that I have, I recommend no ABS. Now, if you look at the two engines that these motorcycles have, that's where you're really gonna start to see the big difference. Both of them are powered by 399cc motors. However, the ZX4RR features an inline 4. This is the smallest production inline 4 you can buy in North America currently. And it's pretty cool. It's a very unique thing that this bike has. A 399cc inline 4, you don't really find that in any other market currently at the moment, especially not in North America. It's producing 55 horsepower and 27 foot-pounds of torque at 16,000 RPM peak. So it redlines super sky high. This thing revs like crazy. It's a ton of fun. But the big elephant in the room, many people have already noticed about this, is it's only making 55 horsepower because you need to get this thing flashed to make the full 75 horsepower that it's supposed to be making. Because for whatever reason, which I think is really a damn shame, Kawasaki decided that North Americans could not be trusted with 75 horsepower and had to really curb the power output. So you see on the dyno graph, as we've already proven with this motorcycle, because this is another giveaway bike that we have over here at Yammy Noob, the power kind of flatlines at above 11,000 RPM. So if you want to fully enjoy your ZX4RR, I really recommend you get the flash and you get the pipe, then you get the sound and the power that the thing is supposed to produce. Now, if you walk over here to the Ninja 400, like I said, this thing also features a 399cc engine. However, it is a 2-cylinder. It's a parallel twin, making 48 horsepower and 28 foot-pounds of torque at 11,000 RPM. So it's a whole lot less revs on this machine over here, but that's because it's got fewer cylinders and is not in as high of a state of tune. However, we've done back-to-back comparisons with the Ninja 400 on track versus the ZX4, and you'd be surprised at how this thing can really keep up. Now, 48 horsepower is very important because that's an A2 compliant number. Kawasaki built this machine to operate for the A2 markets and to really give you a perfect beginner bike. That's really the Ninja 400's goal in life, is to be your first perfect sport bike that you're gonna grow into and love and appreciate. Whereas the ZX4 is a bit of an oddball, like super sport baby motorcycle thing. It's a bizarre motorcycle, you know, it doesn't really fit anywhere in the current marketplace. Moving on. Weight on these machines, very important from a beginner rider consideration. Managing and maneuver a motorcycle is always going to be important. The ZX4RR tips the scales at 415 pounds wet and ready to ride. That means fully fueled with gas, coolant, oil, fork oil, all that stuff. That's kind of heavy for a 400. You usually see 400s in the mid 300 pound range. Some of them, like the RC390, tips the scales is like 340 pounds and stuff like that. And you'll notice that the Ninja 400 is substantially lighter at 366 pounds, nearly 50 pounds lighter than the ZX4RR. And you can actually feel it when you move both bikes around the shop. The ZX4 is a much more dense motorcycle because it just has more moving components. It's a bigger engine in cylinders, so to speak, and it's just got more mass overall. Now, the seat height is a very important thing when it comes to these two motorcycles. Looking at them side by side, when we got the ZX4RR in the shop, I first said that the ergonomics and the kind of overall package of this machine was exactly like a Ninja 400, but that's not necessarily true. This is a little bit more comfortable. So, seat height on the ZX4, 31.5 inches, whereas on the Ninja 400, it is 30.9 inches. Now, as I mount up on the ZX4 over here, you'll see that it's got a very relaxed riding position. This is not like an R6. I'm not super committed. I'm not in the pocket. The gas tank is its own shape. I actually thought it shared a Ninja 400 gas tank, but now that I have them back to back, they're actually not the same. This has its own bespoke components, which is pretty cool. But you see, this is a pretty comfortable place for me to sit. I'm not super leaned over. My legs aren't super balled up. It's pretty cool. Now, if we walk over to the Ninja 400, you'll notice it's even more approachable. With a slightly lower seat height and slightly raised up clip-ons over here, you sit on this bike, and it's just the most comfortable little thing. This is such a nice place for beginners to sit and to learn and to really understand how a motorcycle is going to operate and all that stuff. I really, really like the way this seats for beginner riders specifically, and for aspiring track day warriors who just want something small and nimble to learn on. The Ninja 400, in my opinion, is the perfect platform for you to get started track riding and that sort of thing. Now, with such a large price point differential, this thing costs about, I don't know, $3,000, $4,000 more than the Ninja 400. What are you really getting for your money? Well, like I said, you are getting that inline-4 engine. That is very special, and Kawasaki had to spend a lot of money R&Ding this machine for the North American market. You're also getting twin-disc brakes. If we look up here, we have radially mounted Kawasaki calipers over here on 2 discs. That's actually pretty different from the brake setup over here on the Ninja 400 that has this axially mounted single caliper from, is that Nissan? That is Nissan. It's not to say you're not going to get good stopping power to the Ninja 400. This bike has plenty of stopping power for its size, but the Kawasaki ZX4RR does have the dual disc brakes. The ZX4RR also features its own bespoke frame. It's very different from the Ninja 400 frame, but kind of similar in the same way too. We walked over this whenever we first got the ZX4RR in the shop, but you can see it features this kind of like beefed up steel tubular frame. And it's a bit of a mismatch between a proper super sport and a kind of entry-level sport bike like the Ninja 400. It does not feature an aluminum twin spar frame like you would see on most super bikes or super sports. So that's one big difference on the ZX4. Beyond that, you're getting a TFT dash, you're getting rider modes, you have a full fly-by-wire throttle. The suspension up front is a Showa big piston single function fork with a preload adjuster over here. And then out back you have a fully adjustable rear shock. That means for preload, compression, and rebound, which is a pretty cool feature on this bike. And you're also going to be getting quick shifter up and down. You have, like I said, different rider modes and that TFT display. All those things add up to make the ZX4 a pretty premium little motorcycle. The feeling of riding it is like riding a big bike that just makes less power. Whereas the Ninja 400 is much more bare bones, so to speak. All the components on here are exactly what you would expect from an entry-level motorcycle. You don't have adjustable levers. You have a very simple little analog dash right here, which I actually really enjoy this analog tachometer here. This is really cool to me. I don't really love TFT displays. I think this looks a little bit cooler. But yeah, everything is just a little more simple, a little more sedate on the Ninja 400 here. And this example with 0 miles that we are giving away just kind of reminds you that less is more. You know, you don't need your beginner bike to have so many cool farkles and features. This package is very, very approachable, very good for beginner riders. So that begs the question, Yami, What's your opinion? Between a Ninja 400 and a ZX4, what would you pick? I think it really depends, which is kind of a cop-out answer, but let me explain. I think if you're a first-time rider, you've never owned a motorcycle before, and you want to get into it, it's the Ninja 400 all day, every day of the week. This is the bike you should get. I mean, on paper, this bike is, you know, very, very different from the ZX4. It's not gonna be making as much power, it's not gonna make the right sound, blah, blah, blah. But the experience of riding it for someone who's never ridden a motorcycle before, you're gonna feel the magic of motorcycling when you get on this thing. Trust me. I did whenever I got my first R3 many, many moons ago and I started riding. I didn't really feel like I needed an inline four immediately. I was on a motorcycle and that's all that mattered. I will say, for the guy or girl who's looking for a very unique experience, who maybe is wanting a sport bike, but they want something that they can really use all the time and they want to take it on track and they want to appreciate and enjoy it, the ZX4 is a really cool bike. But I still think you should just get a Ninja 400. I mean, these bikes are tried and true. I think in the world where we're comparing these two machines, unless you really desire the awesome sound of this bike and you really want to pay the price premium for it, and you don't want horsepower for some reason, which I don't understand because horsepower is a lot of fun, then just get a Ninja 400. You know, you look at both of these machines, they basically look the same. Anybody in your close friends and family, if you were to pull up on that versus this, they would just think, oh cool, you got a cool Ninja sport bike, you're a sport bike guy, you have a cool crotch rocket motorcycle. Nobody is gonna know the difference if you ride one of these bikes. Even for me as a motorcyclist, if I saw one of these whiz by, I wouldn't know if it's a ZX4 or a Ninja 400. They're that close in appearance. So the vanity argument kind of goes out the window for me too. So I really think, for all intents and purposes, for most people, if you're looking at a small displacement sport bike and you want it to be green, get the Ninja 400. I think it's the one to get. So guys, that's going to wrap up today's video. I think the Ninja 400 is the one to get. And luckily for you, you can head over to yamanoob.co and get signed up to enter to win this one and a fantastic suite of riding gear we've got given away over there too. Today's the very last day you don't have any time. If you're catching this video, make sure you go over to yamanoob.co and get your entries to win because you are not going to want to miss it. Thanks so much for watching today's video. I truly do appreciate it. We'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later. Keep watching Amy Noob!